This unique take on the classic pen and paper game leaves a lot to be desired. If the cover is to be believed, you and your space dog are engaged in intergalactic combat against a sentient robot. Unfortunately, this isn't the case, and instead you are playing a mind-bending version of tic-tac-toe. The game begins with 4 planes of 4x4 grids, all stacked on top of each other at slightly askew angles. The goal is to be the first player to get 4 in a row, either horizontally, vertically, or diagonally on a single level, or by utilizing all 4 boards. You and your opponent take turns laying down your X's and O's until one of you has defeated the other. Wrapping your head about playing all 4 planes at once can take a while to get used to. Plus, it doesn't help that due to the way the boards line up, it can be difficult to see just how close you are to defeat. More often than not, you'll think you are lining yourself up for victory only for the computer to put a piece on the bottom level to claim the title for itself. If you start understanding how to manage the 4 boards and can get a few wins under your belt, there are 8 levels of difficulty that you can try your hand at. However, due to the extremely limited hardware of the time, the computer's approximate move time is going to be unbearable on anything other than the first 2 skill levels. On level 3, it can take up to a minute for a move to be made. This ramps up substantially at level 5, when the move time is 10 minutes. On the most difficult level, each move can take up to 20 minutes, meaning if the computer plays a perfect game and wins in 4 moves, it will still take 80 minutes, which isn't appealing at all. While this is a somewhat novel take on the classic game, the fun just really isn't there. If you have a friend, it might be worth a shot for a round or 2 just for something a bit different, but if all you have is the computer, then you're going to want to look elsewhere for entertainment. Unless, of course, your thing is patiently staring at a blank screen waiting for something to happen, in which case this is your game. Thanks to being released in 1980, 3D-Tic-Tac-Toe features some of the wonderful early Atari painted covers. This particular one overpromises what the game can deliver, but it's still a marvel to look at. It was programmed by Carol Shaw and is one of the more common titles for the 2600. As this was a first-party release, it was featured heavily in catalogs and had a Sears Telegames release as well. Unfortunately, outside of the wonderful cover art, the manual doesn't really have anything else worth mentioning. At the start of this very ambitious competitor to track and field, you are greeted with a stirring rendition of an Olympic-sounding theme while the torchbearer runs into the stadium. Once you get things rolling, you have 10 events to work through. They are the 100-meter race, 400-meter race, 1500-meter race, 110-meter hurdles, discus throw, long jump, pole vault, shot put, javelin throw, and the high jump. Up to 4 people can compete in the decathlon. However, it is restricted to 1 person at a time. The events all play out in pretty much the same way, with you having to rapidly move the joystick left and right to build up your speed, and executing a timed button press to jump or throw. On events like the high jump and the pole vault, another button press is needed to launch over the bar. All of the events are put together nicely, with the notable exceptions of the running events. The 100-meter race and the 110-meter hurdles are just fine, as they are short sprints. The same can't be said about the 400 and 1500-meter races. Rather than switch the running input to rapidly pressing the button, for some reason they decided to leave it to the joystick movement. This presents a very serious problem. The 1500-meter race, even if it is run flawlessly, will still take over 3 minutes. No matter how many old-school video game hours you have put in over the years, your arm is going to be burning. Not to mention you are going to do some serious damage to your controller. Side note, for reasons that will become painfully obvious once you begin the 100-meter race, it is best not to play this game in front of anyone. Seriously, just trust me on that one. After each event, you are given points based on how well you did. If you were somehow able to score at least 8,600 points, you would have been able to claim a bronze Activision Decathlon patch. 9,000 got you a silver, and 10,000 got you the gold. Of course, if you plan on going for the patches, you should have a lot of extra controllers laying around, as you're going to need the practice. Decathlon was released in 1983, just as the entire video game industry was collapsing. As a result, the catalog appearances were minimal. The manual is straightforward, but does a nice job of breaking down each of the events. The cover art is nice, with the athlete going for the gold, but nothing else really stands out apart from that. The game was programmed by David Crane, and is a fairly common title for the 2600.